Hey, welcome back everybody to my Crafting Paradise Let's Play series. This is episode 8, and today we are going to set up the ore processing and finish our storage system. Now before we get started with that, I'd like to show you guys that I added a little dirt production here. That the harvester to shear leaves, yes, and then it breaks all the leaves. It's like if you use shears on them. And I kept putting them from the chest up here into the barrel, and once the barrel was full I turned it off. And it's simply going down into this oak barrel, eight at a time. I think it's 8, and it turns it into 1 dirt. Because after I finished the landscaping over here, I was down to 5 stacks of dirt. And just to make sure we don't run out, I set this up, and it already made 3 stacks, so I'm not gonna add second or third oak barrel. Okay, the second factory I kept in the same style than the first one. I think that is fitting, and I added little water ponds here. I wanted to loosen up the air a little bit, not just always look down into the void. And a little fishing dock, in case we ever need to fish. Alright, let's get started. I set up a basic ME system here. You guys have probably crafted them many times, so you guys know how to do that. And there's 2 1K drives in here. One is probably efficient enough because once all this is caught up, there's never gonna be a lot of stuff in here. And all the items that come in here are these 27. All the broken, crushed, and pulverized of the 9 different metals. And I put in 1 in here because I couldn't keep all that in my inventory, and once we set up the pipe that goes here and set up the patterns, they're handy right here. I ran the pipes from over there to here off camera, and I only used stone pipe initially, and then I tested it by sending a few items through. And if you only use stone over a long distance, they slowed down a lot back here. It was snail tempo. So I added golden pipes every 10 to 15 or so, and that speeds it up a lot. Now, the items are gonna come in here, go into the ME system. The ME system does its thing, and then via the ME cables, it's gonna go into the smelteries and then get poured out back into these pipes and going over to the storage. Okay. First, what we're gonna do is set up the molecular assembly chamber that is gonna hold all these patterns. And I am pretty much going with the smallest size that I can think of. And it's just gonna have 1 processor, 1 pattern provider, and the rest is all these containment walls and heat vents. So we're gonna put in 1 processor and 1 pattern encoder. Close it up, and then it's gonna form, and now when we access it, we have enough room for these 27 patterns. Now, power for this I set up with a furnace generator, and it's running on blaze rods again. On a cool. Okay. All right, now this is gonna have the ME power or whatever that is, AE, and can access. It's hooked into the network. Okay, now we're gonna go over to. Actually, no. We gotta turn in the quests now, because we're getting some parts that we need for that. Right here. that is completed, we get 4 interfaces and 32 more cables in the bag. And I'm gonna take the interface right now because that's what we need to continue here. We'll open this bag when we open the other ones because we have more quests to turn in. The ME interface, one of them goes up here. Okay, and that's gonna be where all the items from over there come into. And how we're gonna handle this is with a logistics chassis MK4. An MK3 would be enough, but I wanted to have one extra item slot here just in case we ever need to send more items here than just the 3. Because in these item sync modules that we put in here, put them in first. Each one of them can hold 9, so this is enough for our 27 items that come from over there. But in case we want to send something else here, like what are they called, the Quicksilver drops, and want to turn them into regular drops or something, then we have one more slot empty. So you configure this and you simply put in every one of these crushed, and then I'm gonna do the next 2 with pulverized and whatever the third one is called. Okay, here's one. Okay, dropping in the last one here. So now we have first one with all the broken, the second one with all the crushed, the third one with all the pulverized. And what that does now, once it's connected, tell the logistics system, hey, if I have these items, send them to this pipe. And that will put it into the ME interface. Show you guys here real quick. Let's take out a few items. Whatever this ME interface gets, it's like an input. You can use it as an output and an input. And then it puts it into the ME's drives here. Okay? And now we continue the other side. Over here, it's gonna be a little more stuff to set up. First, the pipe coming in here and going over there. Now, I'm setting it up on this chest because this is where all the input is gonna come once we turn on the system. Once it is set up, I'm gonna take all the items, all the ores from these 6 double chests, they're all full, and put them in here, and then everything gets transported over there automatically. And then once we have the rest of the sorting system hooked up, then I can turn on the autonomous activators, then everything is automated. Now, as the input here, all we need is a logistics MK1, because we only need to hold 1 card. And that is a quick sort module. The quick sort module is, and I show you guys what that does is it checks, see that red outline, an adjacent inventory for items. And when it finds an item, it checks, where do I send it? If it does not have room for that item, it stays in this chest. And that's why we cannot turn on the automation until we hooked up the rest of all the other items like redstone, diamond, emerald. Because this chest would fill up very fast and then it would overflow. Okay, so now to show you this already working, let's just take a stack of tin and put it in here. And it almost instantly comes out, goes down the pipe, goes into that interface, and it's gonna be in the ME system. So that's how we get everything over there. Now, the next part is, before we can start the smelting, we need room for our ingots. So it is 9 of them. And for them, we're using chassis MK2, just like we did on all the barrels, to hold 2 upgrade modules. And those are again the same, a provider, and got the name provider and item sync. And what those two mean is that faster. What that means is, again, the item sync module tells the system, hey, if you have iron ingots, send them to me. And the provider module is, I have iron ingots. If anybody needs them, come and get them from me. So we need those two modules. Oh, and before I forget, guys, I don't know what I was thinking when we set up the first part. But when you look at the recipes, they're actually not expensive to make at all. If you take the top recipes, then they are. Like, compare it here. You need 4 iron ingots and 2 redstone to make one. Or if you use the lasers, all you need is 1 iron and 1 redstone. So you save 3 iron and 1 redstone for these. And on this one, it's, I think, even more, because you will need a gold gear, which is 4 gold, 4 iron, and 2 redstone. Because it's tiered. First you gotta make the iron and then upgrade it with gold. Here, if you make it with the chip, all it is 1 gold and 1 redstone. So those were actually now very cheap for me to make, and we can finish the whole sorting system today. And now let's put in the other cards. Then we configure them real quick. Alright, let's start with this one. Whatever's in here. Whoa. What did I do wrong here? Ah, I did the wrong row. My bad. Okay, so I put all these pipes in the right barrels now, and then configured the item sync modules for each one of the barrels. So this, for example, is set for the shiny ingot. This one is set for iron ingots, and so on and so on. So these 9 ingots are set up. And the easiest way to test this is take out every one of these ingots. It's the same if we put it in this one. It's looking where to send the ingots, because we're gonna set up the same pipes over at the smelteries. But just to make sure that these are actually going to the right barrels, put them in here. You see them all going, and then they should all go to the correct barrels here. Okay, 1, 1, 1. Ha! Look at that. Very nice. I found a mistake here. There's an intersection. Didn't put a logistics pipe, so you guys see some of them keep going straight. It doesn't know where to put them, even though here the silver pipe tells them, hey, if I have it. But because it's going the wrong way, because this is not smart, it went the other way first. So let's place this one here with a basic logistics pipes. And now if we do it again, the same test, they're all gonna go straight in there. Now they're gonna all take a right over here and all go straight into the correct barrels. Done. Now we have everything over in this factory building set up. There's nothing else to do when it comes to the ingots, and the rest of the sorting we're gonna do once the smelting here starts. And I sent over at least 1 stack of each one of them here this way to make sure that everything gets routed and they all got here, so we know that pipe is configured correctly. Now what we do here is set up the patterns. So I'm taking out 1 of each of these. And then we go to the pattern provider. Now take this, and it's gonna show you aluminum gravel. I'm gonna craft out of these, code it, and put it into the pattern provider. So now when you look into the ME system, I taught it how to make aluminum gravel. Okay, to test, simply say 1, begin, there it is. And I'm gonna set up all the other patterns for all the 27 different types and craft 1 of each. Now there's some here that we don't have enough to craft 1. So let's see which one don't we have. Crushed platinum ore. So what I'm gonna do here is just make 1 by hand. And hammer it down myself, and now I have enough to craft one. I'm gonna do that for every one of them, and I'll be right back. I finished setting up all the patterns. Now the ME system knows how to craft every one of these blocks, and I crafted each one of them blocks and put it in my inventory. Now before we set up the actual export to the smelteries, I broke this one ME cable here for now because I don't want this to start until we're finished setting up everything. Now, in order to get these blocks into your smeltery, you need 2 precision export buses on each one of them. So just place one here and there, and then wrench the one down here so it's actually pointing up. And the same on this side. And I set up 2 smelteries, and that's quite common because a lot of these metals, when they're smelted together, they form an alloy, and there's nothing you can do about it. Copper and tin make bronze, gold and silver make electrum, iron and nickel make invar, and I think, yeah, aluminum and copper would make aluminum brass. So the easiest way to split this up is in one smeltery you'd use copper, gold, iron, and lead. None of them mix. And in the other one, aluminum, nickel, silver, tin, and platinum. None of them mix either. And now to set up these buses. Okay. There's a mode down here. There's a single item, stack of items, and then move single item / craft. That's the mode we want on all 4 of our export buses. What that means is that if you have a copper ore dust block in your inventory, in your ME system, it will go in here. If it doesn't, it's constantly going to check, can I craft one of them and send it in here? And so it checks the patterns. I have enough materials, craft one, send it here, it goes in the smeltery. So you need to put one of each of these into the export bus. So let's start with the copper here. So this one, and this one. Now it knows to put copper here. The same with iron, and the same, gold. And then the iron, the last one doesn't fit in here. That's why you need 2 export buses. So 1, 2, 4. So now we got these 4 metals, all 4 types set here. I forgot to change this one. Single items craft. And the same one on this one, where we start with aluminum, nickel, silver, tin, and platinum. And again, change these all to single item craft. So now as soon as I close this ME cable here, this is gonna start. So I'm gonna put all these back into the system. Don't need them anymore. All right, but I'm not gonna hook this up just yet because we still need to do the output. So once this is smelted, and this is gonna be on, so it automatically gets pumped out with a fluid duct. And I mentioned a few episodes ago that I like fluid ducts on here. You could also use nodes, but these here should never get stuffed, so I don't see a problem using the fluid ducts on these. And I use ducts because it's a lot faster than having a faucet and a clock or anything. This is almost instantly, it fills this. Let's turn both of them on. And how do we get everything back into the system? Is with these. We're gonna use the logistic chassis MK1, just like we have on the input chest over on the other side we just set up. You put that here, and you put that there, and then put a quick sort modules in both of them. Now this is the same thing. It looks, let's say there's an iron ingot sitting in here. This checks, where do I send this, pulls it out, and should go. I've actually not set this up before, but I'm pretty sure this is gonna work. So everything is set up. The pieces come over here. They get automatically crafted via the requests from these precision export buses. Double checking. There's right, and get put in here. Once it's smelted, it gets automatically poured into these ingot casts, sucked out, and back over to our barrels. So, moment of truth. Let's hook up this 1ME cable and see what happens. Now you already see it's gonna most likely use the items that it made first in here. Maybe we have to change this to always craft items. Let's see if that makes a difference. Ah, there we go. I'm not sure if it was just slow or if that setting needed to be the other one. Okay. All right, I'm gonna wait for these. Oh, there we go. It's already smelted. And there we go. It's going over. This is awesome. Oh, that smelted fast. Do you see them all coming here as molten? Oh, I wonder if... that's good to know. So the silver and lead, you guys remember that... I'm gonna take this out by hand. Maybe we get a silver here. Yes. You guys remember that I used to do that barrel combining trick? So they're always the same ore dictionary entry. But we can fix that by coming over here. So lead and silver is 4 and 5 on the top row. So we can do 4. This is the lead, so I'm going to tell it also this type of lead. And the same for the silver. This type of silver. So now it knows where to send them. Let's give this a second. Yeah, the lead came in, and because it goes in the same barrel, it actually then makes it the same ore dictionary entry. I don't think there's a problem with any other ones. The other ingots, I don't remember ever making something IC2 out of the smeltery. Right after I started, I noticed that I forgot to put a basic logistics pipe up here. There was a stone pipe, so the ingots that came out from here sometimes went down, came back up, went the wrong way. So I put in a basic logistics pipe in here again, so now the system knows which way to go. So it is time that we finish our storage system here for all the stuff we're getting from the sifting. In order to do that, I made 27 more chassis MK2, 27 more item sync modules, and 27 provider modules. So I'm just gonna go ahead and set these up one by one. And just remember, just place the item sync module in here. Tell it this one takes exotic seeds. And then put it back in there. And I'm gonna go ahead and set them all up. I'll be right back. You guys can see everything is done here. It looks kind of cool, massive wall of pipes. And now how we can test if this works is simply take this input chest up here, which is empty. Place it somewhere else, and then simply slowly take one of each of these chests and hook it up here, and as soon as I put it there, it should start exporting all the items to the barrels or send it over to our ME system to get processed in the ore. Good. Our eye on this. First chest is done. It's quite fast. Let's do another one. A lot of these are going over to the ME system. Okay, I'm gonna finish all these barrels, make sure all of this is empty, and then we're ready to turn on the sifters again. Alright, putting on the last chest now. And that is the chest that's gonna stay on here. That's gonna be our input chest for everything that comes from here. And then I'm gonna turn on the automation. Done. Okay, here it goes. Dust and gravel. let's wait. It goes up and goes straight. This is an ore, so it goes over to the ME. Another ore, and so on. So we got 64 stacks of everything up here. I actually just turned it off, but now I'm gonna turn on 1 gravel production, 1 sand, 1 dust, and see how that keeps up. Actually, we just turn them all. We got endless power, who cares? These are all set to void. So that keeps going. And over here, of course, I have a lot of stuff still over in the workshop, and you see that it's working on mostly iron right now. Those are the ingots that are coming back. And once I moved everything from over there into our storage system and everything is done smelting, this wall is going to be quite full. But I'm not going to move the items from over there into this chest, but instead, between episodes, I'm going to run the pipe over to the workshop so we can set up our input system over there and also the request part, so I can actually get items from the storage system in the workshop. I don't want to come over here every time to pick stuff up. Okay, this really sucks, guys. There's something wrong with the system. I did not test this in a different testing world because I have set up this ME smelting process at least on 3 different servers, mostly Agrarian Skies, with the automatic crafting of the blocks and then sending it in and coming out. Only the logistics pipe part is different. So instead of using the logistics pipes from here out, I just had import buses back into the ME. So there is no difference, and I just set up the exact same system on an Agrarian Sky map that has the same Applied Energistics mod version, and it works on there. I made a few forum posts trying to figure out if somebody can help me out, if they have any idea why it doesn't work here, but so far no luck. So all the ore processing has halted on the end of this episode, and I'm gonna wait until tomorrow if I either get an answer to figure out how to fix this, and if that doesn't work, then we're gonna use casting tables, tanks, and ingot casts for every single metal. And instead of sending the blocks in, we just send in the broken, pulverized, and crushed ores directly, smelt them, separate them into tanks, and then pour them out. I made a crafting monitor here because I wanted to see what the ME was halting on, and it showed me the first one in here is copper. It was checking for more copper gravel ore, and it wanted to make those and nothing else. So everything, once it was done with all the copper ore, it just halted. And I did it on a different map also on Crafting Paradise, set it up fresh without any of the other stuff. It doesn't work. So it is possible that the 27 patterns we did for nothing, the molecular assembly chamber we set up for nothing, it doesn't go bad because it's part of a quest. Or we need to turn on those items anyway. Right here, the auto crafting. We just need to make altogether 32 vents, and this is only 10. So sorry that I need to let you guys hang like this, but I don't fit anything else in this episode. I want to end it on opening the reward bag we got from that Applied Energistics. We got Badlands. Alright, I'm gonna add that to the biomes chest. We got 4 now. I think you get 2 or 3 more biomes, and I'm gonna make another showcase. And I'm gonna prepare everything, including the piping over to the workshop. So beginning of the next episode, we can finish this and then start with something new. Till next time, guys. I'm really sorry again, but it's not my fault. I thought this was gonna work. It's supposed to work. If you enjoyed the episode, I'd appreciate a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until next episode, take care, everybody.